Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know I don't upload that much nowadays, but here I am because I will tell you why. I just filmed 2 videos for my Patreon and I felt like I was in a rambling mood, so we are just going to sit here and talk about tarot. Because what I do over on Patreon is very often I will take one tarot card and just ramble about it, ramble about the symbolism, ramble about what is happening in the card, what it means for me, what it can mean for you in a reading. And I've been doing this for a few months, like 3 months now or something like that, and I quite enjoy it. And I figured, why not do that on my main channel as well, so it's not just limited to Patreon. I don't have anything prepared, so I'm just going to draw a card right now and ramble about it, and probably not edit this video because I'm a bit lazy at the moment about that. Okay, oh my gosh, I drew my favorite card actually. Let me grab my warming bottle. So, if you've known me for a while, you know what my favorite card is. If you don't, you don't. It's the Two of Swords, and I actually, on Instagram, I just posted a photo with it, or like a photo series that I took with the Two of Swords. So this is the Mucha Tarot because I love the Mucha Tarot. It's by far my favorite tarot deck when it comes to traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. So this is very, very dear to my heart. And with the Two of Swords, if you've heard me ramble about it before, you know that I don't really believe in the too negative meaning of this. Of course, depending on the context, it can mean something negative. It can mean, hey, you have to get out of your shell, you have to take off this blindfold and see what is in front of you. But when I look at the imagery, actually, it's a very positive feeling that I get, partly because I really like cool fantasy drawings like this. So I'm like, wow, I wish I was like that woman, basically. That's probably why I see it so positively. But anyways, so I'm just going to go through the symbolism and the different parts of this card with you guys, and then we'll see what comes of it. Let me know what you think of the Two of Swords as well, what you think of the symbology, of the symbolism. Maybe you have a favorite Two of Swords. This is definitely mine, by far my favorite Two of Swords. So I want to actually go into the background to start off, because as you can see, we have the ocean, or, well, more of a lake, I suppose, like just water behind her, behind the figure in this card. And I think the first thing that comes here is the resemblance to the High Priestess card, which in fact has this sea or this ocean behind her as well, sort of standing guard in front of it. And it signifies the very vast and endless intuition or depth that the High Priestess embodies. And with the Two of Swords, we sort of have this too. We have this backdrop of intuition, this backdrop of having behind you the knowledge and the intuitive thoughts and the ideas and the fantasies and the depths and the emotions of yourself, and having this kind of in your back, like supporting you essentially. And I really like that because intuition and emotions can be a good basis for decisions. It's good to have those kind of calmly behind you, because we have a very calm water here. We don't have any intense emotions or any deep wounds being opened here. We just have calm water, like in the Moon card, like in the High Priestess card. Not like we see, for example, in the Two of Discs, where we have an ocean that is enraged, or in the Page of Cups, sometimes the ocean is also drawn as being very active and having very high emotions. That's not the case with this card, or the High Priestess, or the Moon card. We just have this calm knowledge, this calm intuition in this person's back, kind of backing them up. And then here she is sitting on the ground. I know in the normal Rider-Waite-Smith deck, she's sitting on a stone, I believe. but in this one, she's just sitting on the ground and she is holding two swords. So let's talk about the two swords and the blindfold, because I feel like those are probably the symbols that are most meaningful to most people when they look at this card. And for me, the blindfold is a withdrawal into exactly that watery area, into one's own intuition, one's own path, one's own guidance, kind of accompanying you and being your focus. Because you can focus on other people's opinions, you can focus on the environment, you can focus on the opportunities that are given to you from outside, all of these things. But in this card, we have a calm, we have a silence that focuses on the inward intuition and the inward world of knowledge and of feeling. And I love that. And the blindfold is essentially the focus giver here, because this person has closed their eyes towards, as I said, the opinions of others, outside influences, outside conditions, maybe limiting circumstances that the person is surrounded by. And you can imagine her just dreaming. You can imagine her just fantasizing, visualizing what she wants her life to look like. Or you can visualize this person kind of honing in on what they want to focus on separately from the outside world. So this is what I mostly see this card as a call for you to go deep and to, in German we have this nice word called sich auf etwas besinnen. And in English you don't really have a word for that, I suppose, but it's kind of like to tune into something, to remember something, to really remember something that you maybe knew before, and tuning into what is inward. And that is really what describes this card to me. And the swords, obviously, can stand for two different paths. Often the swords represent thoughts or ideas or words even in the whole suit of swords. And here you could read it as there being two pathways this person has to choose between. That is why she is holding two swords. You could read it as that. You could also simply read it as a defense against the outside influences that I was talking about, maybe seeming a little bit threatening. It kind of also has this badass vibe of kind of a blind master, if you know what I mean, you know, in the movies where they are blind and they have two swords and they fight really well with them, even though they are blind, because they have such strong intuition and such a strong sense of depth and sense of physicality and speed and all of that. So you could read it as that as well, if you are so inclined to think about cool movies like I am. But yes, so sometimes it does represent kind of a path that is unfolding in front of you, two paths, and you have to choose one or the other, and you are making yourself blind in order to find the right path. Now, in a negative way, of course, you could also say that this person isn't quite seeing all the options available to them because she is blinded. She has blinded herself to those options and maybe cannot quite see the paths. So depending on the context in which you draw this card, it can either mean exactly that, open your eyes to the paths that you have at hand, maybe even see a third path rather than insisting on the two paths that you are seeing or that you are thinking about. Or, on the other hand, cut yourself off from the world, from the opinions, from the thoughts of other people, and tune into what is actually best for you. So, yes, this card has a variety of meanings in that sense. And I do have to say that most of the time, this is why I always insist on this positive meaning a lot, is because I feel like most of the time it means that to me. Like, it's not a negative card. Most of the time this comes up in a spread for me, it is actually positive, and it is like an encouraging message of going inward, because I tend to do that anyways rather than going outward. So yeah, let me know how it comes up for you, because I think for different people it can come up in very, very different ways, obviously. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like, how does it usually come up for you in a spread? More as a warning not to go inward too much, or more as an encouragement to go more inward? That would interest me a lot. And then obviously in this card, we also have the moon, which is waxing in this case. It is waxing in this card, which I also find a very interesting sign, because I feel like most people, if you ask them in the Two of Swords, would you draw the moon as waning or waxing? Most people would maybe say waning, because it's kind of limiting. It's kind of a card of contraction. And I think it's cool that it's actually waxing in this, and that it's not a contraction but an expansion happening through the mind of this person, that is going on in the mind of this person. Yeah, and then we have something that looks like either bats or birds in the background, which I also find very cool. And that's basically that card. So yeah, that was the ramble that I had for you guys. My first probably completely unedited video on my channel. I hope that you enjoyed it. I just wanted to upload something, you know, sometimes you get a little bit stuck in your mind and you don't know what you're going to upload. And I figured, since I'm in the ranting mood because of Patreon, I'm just going to roll with it. If you want to support me on there, that would mean a lot to me. I publish essays, journaling prompts on a monthly basis, and also do these little rants about tarot cards. And yeah, I do all of those cool things over there. I also do tarot readings. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I keep you up to date about more things than on YouTube, I feel like. Like in my Instagram story or in my Instagram feed, you will find more activity than these thought out huge videos. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me for this. Let me know your thoughts about the Two of Swords, and I look forward to seeing you again. And let me know if you enjoyed this format, because maybe I will do more of these on my main channel as well, just ranting about tarot symbology or tarot, like the context of the cards. I suppose I haven't talked much about the context here. Like, I haven't talked about how it relates to the Three and the Ace of Swords. But it's fine. I don't want to ramble on forever, you know. I have to save some of that. All right. I wish you a wonderful day. I hope to see you very, very soon. And yeah, see you.